Almost there. One more setting. And one more piece of the unique is operational.
One down, 1 million to go. Speaking of which, boss, I found exactly none of the parts you wanted. A whole day at the junk pile, and all I turn up are a locker and some stupid conduits. Maybe next time. Boss, are you sure you got those settings right?
That came from down in engineering. Let's go. There's no time for that.
Boss, maybe we should see what's happening in engineering?
There's no time for that. There's no time for that. There's no time for that.
Boss?
Crispin, get behind me. Who are you and what do you want?
Power.
I think he wants the power core, boss.
Stop right there. This ship belongs to me.
Forfeit. Enemy. Plunder.
I don't think he's too keen on private property.
Get away from the power core.
Forfeit.
Boss? Boss? Horatio? Come on, Horatio, wake up!
Ugh.
Whew, you're okay.
What happened?
Well, Big Ugly threw you out of the ship. And then he said plunder, again. And then he left with our power core.
Basad.
Yep,
How much charge have you got?
10%. You?
I'll be fine. We just need to get the emergency generator up and running.
Or we could just go to Metropole, city of glass and light. Free energy for one and all.
Don't believe everything you hear. Metropole is trouble. But if you want to go, we've got free will and a maglev unit.
With that guilt subroutine you put in me, I wouldn't even make it halfway.
Actually, with a 10% charge, you wouldn't even get that far. So I suggest we get the generator working.
You and your projects.
Man built us to build, Crispin. Now, come on. I must have dropped the data pouch when I was thrown out of the unique. Basad, its memory got wiped. Easy enough to add the good old junk pile's coordinates back in, though.
I can't use myself until you give me hands. You know, boss, if you're ever wondering what I would do, feel free to just ask.
I'll keep that in mind.
Boss, did you ever consider that sometimes I just run out of clever ideas? Is that a gumball machine?
No, it's a robot's head.
Ah, I wanted a gumball.
Nothing worth salvaging. I can't move this without some kind of crane, which I certainly don't have time to build now. I can't pick that up. I can't pick that up. It's a segment of Gordium electrical conduit. I can't just scoop it up. Crispin, when I told you to find a new spark plug, did you just shove my conductive putty into the old one?
Maybe.
No wonder the generator isn't working. At least the putty is still good. It's not going to do anything until the generator's fixed. There's supposed to be a power-bearing conduit between this socket and the ship, but I never got around to putting one together.
Now who's the procrastinator?
I'll need at least 5 pieces to be able to build a conduit long enough to run the generator to the unique. A sturdy cable. It's the unique's tag. Without it, I'd have never known the ship's name.
Apparently, building a giant airship doesn't require proper spelling.
Apparently not. I've tried patching this a dozen different ways without success. There's no way I can reach that.
Boss, maybe we should try to get back inside the unique and make sure everything's okay?
More Gordium conduit. Could you grab that lantern?
Sure thing, boss.
You know, I always wanted to be able to fly. That's why I built you with a maglev unit.
Not so that you could store tools on hard-to-reach ledges?
Well, that too. There's no way I can reach that.
That's way too big for me to get, boss, and you know it.
The hatch is unresponsive. Without power from the ship, the telescope won't work.
Bad timing with those repairs, huh, boss?
It's too dark to see the ladder rungs. Good thing there's still some power in the circuit.
Boss, shouldn't you have thought of that before coming down here? We could have been stuck.
I could have just ridden you back to the deck.
Really?
No. Routing that much power to your maglev unit would cause it to explode.
Yeah, right.
Sorry. I couldn't find a working fuse to solve the problem.
I'm a floating bomb. I'm a floating bomb. Sweet.
It couldn't hurt to bring the gospel of man with us.
Going to pray for a miracle, boss?
We are man's miracle, Crispin. Let's hope that's enough. I don't need to bring these with me.
After all, boss, life is stranger than fiction.
The controls for this hatch are unresponsive. I can't pick that up.
So that's where you keep it.
Why were you looking for my plasma torch?
No reason. Ooh, spooky. Strange clouds, huh, boss?
Only a little sliver left before the moon wanes entirely.
Well, I'm glad we're not the only ones running out of power.
This is no time for sitting around. There's nothing worth bothering with. It's just scrap. It's just scrap. Better just to leave it alone. It's 3 pieces of Gordium conduit. Unfortunately, one of them is completely corroded and worthless. It's locked tight. I'll need at least 5 pieces to be able to build a conduit long enough to run the generator to the unique. For cutting and welding, it can't be beat. A small lump of electrically conductive putty. A good length of heavy-duty cable designed for carrying data. A reliable electric lantern that I cobbled together years ago. I've read enough. For cutting and welding, it can't be beat. Let's see if this works.
Is that a spark plug, boss? Who locks up a spark plug?
Actually, I think that box was some kind of machine.
You killed it!
Recycled it. I guess it was actually some kind of machine. I'm pretty sure it was already dead, though. Better just to leave it alone. There's a piece of gordium conduit way back there. Crispin, can you go in there and get that piece of conduit?
I suppose. That would have been a lot easier with hands, boss.
It's locked tight. It's a reinforced steel. It's closed.
How do you think a train wound up out here, boss?
Maybe they brought it here by boat.
Very funny. If that red light went off, I bet the train would start going.
Crispin, sometimes I think you're trying to get me to waste time.
Who, me?
I guess it was actually some kind of machine. I'm pretty sure it was already dead, though.
How do you think a train went?
Maybe they brought...
Very...
Still red. Looks like an old P2. Or is it a P3? I picked it clean years ago.
Boss, just think of all the brothers and sisters you could make for me from all that junk.
One of you is more than enough. It's just scrap. There's nothing more value in there. Endless junk. The data pouch is registered to me. The data pouch is registered to me. I'll need to get a closer look to see how it fits together. It won't work until they're locked together. Not a bad idea, but I can't carry enough of a charge, and it isn't sticky enough to hold them in place. Time for a little welding.
Wow, that was easier than I thought it would be.
I'll need to get a closer look to see how it fits together. Just a run-of-the-mill spark plug.
I thought we were in trouble when Big Ugly stole our core. But just like that, problem solved.
The problem is not solved.
Well, I agree. The noise leaves something to be desired.
This is an emergency generator, Crispin.
Well, it was an emergency, boss.
It only runs for a few days, if that.
Oh. Well, do we have another one?
No, which means it still is an emergency.
Well, in that case, first dibs on the recharge station. So, what's the plan, boss?
We need to recover our power core.
Or we could just take the train to Metropole and live in luxury.
First of all, there is no train to Metropole. And second, even with full charges, we can't just walk there. But more importantly, I hate that city. It's in my core logic. I don't know why, but I can't change it.
Okay. In that case, can't you just make us a new power core?
Yes, but I need some kind of strong energy source for that.
And you just make one of those too? I'm just asking.
No, but somewhere around here are the plans for an energy sensor.
That's awfully convenient.
I designed it a long time ago, before I made you. I even found a sodium iodide crystal to use in the sensor, though man alone knows where it's buried now.
Weary wanderers, come, join us in Metropole, city of glass and light.
We're fine on energy, for now.
Shared with all robots.
I've never been able to figure it out. It's the Unique's recharging station.
Hey boss, what do all these buttons and switches do?
I think there's some sort of defense mechanisms, but I can't figure them out. A collection of product manuals, how-to guides, and technical treatises.
Do you think the sensor design might be in here?
No, these are all books I scavenged.
Come, join us in Metropole, city of glass and light. Our energy is shared with all robots. Here is haven for all and strained numbers. Come, join us in Metropole, geocoordinate 894. All weary wanderers, come, join us in Metropole.
I bet I can find a better use for
City
this
of
plug.
glass and light.
But now we can't listen to the sweet voice of Metropole.
I guess that makes two birds. Nothing more to do with it. Nothing more to do with it. It's Crispin's to-do list. Funny how it never gets any shorter.
That's your fault, boss, not mine.
I found this in the dunes. It reads, pound pastrami, canned kraut, 6 bagels, bring home for Emma. The original designs for Crispin.
Hey, there are arms here! And an awesome set of tractor treads!
I went with a maglev unit instead, and I never could find good arms. There's the design. I'll put the keynotes into my data pouch.
How does it even work?
The crystal pulses when it absorbs energy. The cable carries the pulse to the computer. The computer decodes the information and displays it on the monitor.
Boss, where are we going to find a working computer?
The Unique is full of them.
Oh, right.
The energy sensor requires a sodium iodide crystal connected to a cable, which in turn needs to be connected to a CPU and a monitor. The energy sensor requires a sodium...
That is where our power core should be shedding its light silently.
There's nothing I can do with it until I have some kind of power source. A computer terminal. It's a universal interface plug. It fits, but there's no point unless I connect the plug to something else first. A long cable with an interface plug on one end. How would that even work? Yet another reason that besotting robots should be reduced to scrap. I don't think that would be wise. Crispin, why is your diary still scattered all over the floor?
Are you going to keep nagging me until we run out of power, boss?
Yes. It's Crispin's log. In order to preserve his privacy and my sanity, I've avoided reading it. Aha! Here's the crystal.
Right under our noses. That is, if we had noses.
The control pad for the deck access ladder. Aeronautical engineering manuals.
Great for putting yourself to sleep, huh, boss? I still don't see why I don't get a bed.
Because you have a flat bottom to rest on.
Looking at my bottom, are you, boss? I still don't see why I don't...
A sodium iodide crystal. It pulses when exposed to energy. I need something to hold it in place to carry the chart.
Are you really trying to build us an energy sensor from a bunch of garbage?
Crispin, I built you from a bunch of garbage.
From spare parts, boss. Spare parts.
The cable's far too long to be useful. An old captain's chair. I moved it here from navigation. This is no time for sitting around.
Strange clouds, huh, boss?
A large observational telescope. This isn't the time to test out the telescope.
Boss, is it okay if I sleep in the cradle until we have a new power core?
No. It needs a plug. The cable's far too long to be useful. I doubt that will have any effect. A simple computer interface with a socket for connecting external hardware. An old rag.
Wow, first the power core and now a rag. This is not your day. That's crazy talk. I
can't pick that up. Some rotted alloy support beams.
Now, I'm not a fancy engineer like you, boss, but it seems like the Unique isn't gonna fly without its tail on.
The monitor is designed to socket directly into a CPU. That's never going to work. A simple computer in. Let's cut a little cable off. The monitor is designed, well, just goes to show. Garbage in, greatness out. I can't plug this in here. How would that even work? I need to plug them into a computer. That's never going. Quentin Questron LCD monitor. A good length of heavy-duty cable designed for carrying data. Now we just need to check out these coordinates.
But didn't you just tell me we don't have enough power to go walking all over the dunes?
No, I said we couldn't walk to Metropole. Anyway, most of these are close by.
But what if it's picking up, oh, I don't know, a radioactive rust monster?
A what?
Or a giant cannibal robot?
There's no such thing.
Or an unexploded bomb?
I highly doubt that.
Or a giant lightning storm?
Okay, you're right. We need to know what's out there before we take off. It's just a matter of figuring out how.
Why is nothing easy?
I can think of one reason.